Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So a few days ago it was Doctor Who Day. We didn't get all that much announced for it this year, it was mainly just a couple of new posters for this year's Christmas special, Joy to the World, and a few deleted scenes from Season 1, aka Series 14, and the third 60th anniversary special, The Giggle. Most of these deleted scenes were not really all that interesting, and you could kind of see why they weren't used in the final episodes, but one or two felt like pretty big omissions, and I wish they had been kept in, especially that scene from Space Babies where Ruby tells the babies all about how she was abandoned when she herself was a baby. But anyway, the biggest thing that was revealed on Doctor Who Day this year was the announcement of what the next colorisation would be. It will be a colorisation of the Second Doctor's final story, The War Games. An official press release said, Second Doctor adventure The War Games returns in full colour. Classic Doctor Who story The War Games is to be brought to life in stunning new colorisation to air on BBC4 and iPlayer on the 23rd of December. It's time to step into the excitement of the War Games once again, as one of Doctor Who's most classic tales is to receive a spectacular new colorisation. Originally aired in 1969, the War Games marked the end of an era for the Second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, following him and his companions Zoe and Jamie as they land in a battlefield that appears to be a World War I military zone, but all is not as it seems. They soon discovered that soldiers from different historical periods have been abducted and are being manipulated in a cruel game. As they work to uncover the mystery behind the Warlord and his twisted experiments, the Doctor faces one of his most difficult challenges. For the first time, these original episodes have been meticulously colourised and enhanced with updated visual effects, edited into a new 90-minute feature-length experience to appeal to today's modern audiences. With updated sound and a new score, this newly updated version of the War Games offers both fans and newcomers even more ways to watch the much-loved classic story. In addition, the episode will also feature the Second Doctor's never-before-seen regeneration into the Third Doctor, John Pertwee, alongside recovered footage not seen since the original broadcast. Russell T Davies, current showrunner, said, "From the day I arrived back on Doctor Who, this was the plan, to colorise old stories and bring them back to life. And on Doctor Who Day itself, it's great to announce this, celebrating the show's wonderful heritage with an all-time classic. It looks so vivid and new, and for fans of black and white, the story in its original form will stay on BBC iPlayer, so everyone wins. I actually watched this transmit in 1969, at 6 years old, terrified of the Roman soldiers, fascinated by villains with glinting spectacles, and in awe of the Doctor's brand new origin. Now fans old and new can enjoy it all over again." This special episode is the second time that a classic Doctor Who story has been colourised, following The Daleks in 2023, which was updated to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the franchise. Now, I have some mixed feelings on this. On the one hand, I think it's great to see another 1960s story getting the colorisation treatment. It's great to see Patrick Troughton's Second Doctor in colour, for example, especially since he's my favourite Doctor. The colorisation itself looks just as vibrant and wonderful as the previous one for the Daleks did. But on the other hand, I'm a bit cautious about this. The editing and pacing of the previous colorisation were all over the place at times, and that was when they were trimming a 175-minute long story into just 75 minutes. Now they've trimmed a 250-minute long story into just 90 minutes. I mean, we shouldn't judge this colorisation before we've seen it, but I am a little bit concerned about how much of the serial's storyline will have to be trimmed or edited out. Sure, there is quite a bit of repetition in some of the episodes, where the Doctor and co get captured, then escape, then get recaptured, then escape again, etc. But to be perfectly honest, I actually think the War Games more than justifies its 10 episodes runtime. It may take over 4 hours to watch, but whenever I have found the time to watch it, it's always felt like an event, rather than just another Doctor Who story. It brings Patrick Troughton's era to an action-packed and climatic end, and it's probably my favourite Doctor Who story of all time. And also, I think we need to remember that the writers did basically write this in, what, like a few days or a week or something at a time? So, yeah, the fact that beyond the repetition of them getting captured and escaping again, like, the fact that it's still pretty solid and good quality story, I mean, that just says a lot, really, doesn't it? But anyway, I just really hope that the pacing of this colorisation is better than that of the last one. I wouldn't be very keen on there being another strange action montage like there was for the Daleks one, when the TARDIS crew were trying to escape. And I don't think there needs to be as many recaps to what was said or done a few minutes ago with this one, as I feel like it's a bit unintentionally patronising to younger viewers to just assume that they don't have the attention spans to remember what happened just 5 minutes before. Yes, it's true that some young people have shorter attention spans, but I don't think that's got anything to do with what age or generation you are. It just varies from person to person. I'm a younger person, and I've always been pretty much fine with keeping a fairly good attention span on long classic series stories. Yes, I can get distracted, but so can anyone, really. I know they're doing this stuff with the best of intentions, and I'm really not trying to imply otherwise, but I wish there was a younger person either involved with the editing process or was consulted to find out what their thoughts on it were, because I think having that would help them strike the right balance between appealing to shorter attention spans, but without doing so in a way that could be misconstrued as condescending. I'm not trying to imply that the people working on these colorizations are like really old or ancient, of course, but hopefully you get where I'm coming from. Anyway, enough of that sort of rant, let's talk about the extra details that were teased, that being the regeneration scene and the footage that hasn't been seen since 1969. The regeneration scene they'll be using is actually a fan-made one. Specifically, it's the one from the Confession Dial YouTube channel. I can see why they decided to go with it, as it is actually really good and well done. But there is a slight issue that some fans might have with this colorisation having a regeneration scene at the end of the story, and that is how it might potentially decanonise the popular Season 6B theory. This is the one where the second Doctor doesn't actually regenerate straight away at the end of the War Games. He is instead recruited by a shadowy Time Lord covert organisation called the Celestial Intervention Agency, to be their agent and go on some missions for them. But the guy behind the Confession Dial channel, Jacob Booth, has said that he had to make a few adjustments to his regeneration scene so that it could make more sense in the context of the colorisation. Given that his original scene makes a reference or something to Season 6B, it could very well be that that is what he means when he said he had to change some of it. But to be honest, I don't think we should really worry that much about this. Sure, the colorisation might imply that 2 regenerate straight into 3 at the end of the War Games, but it isn't supposed to be anything other than an optional, alternate way of watching and experiencing the story. It's not trying to be the definitive version of the story and replace the original, so if we still want to consider the Season 6B fin to be canon, then there's nothing really stopping us from doing so. Plenty of books, comics and audios have leaned into the idea after all, and the whole matter of what is or isn't canon has always been subjective and open to our own individual interpretations anyway. So I don't think this is such a big deal, to be perfectly honest with you. As for the footage that hasn't been seen since 1969, this got many fans wondering what it could be. Some thought this could be a further reference to the regeneration scene, but it turns out that it's actually referring to the original film of some location footage that was found by the story's original editor, Chris Hayden, and was discussed publicly during his recent appearance on the Radio Free Skaro podcast. This will presumably be the original footage taken on location for the World War I battlefield scenes, starting with when the TARDIS crew first appear, and due to it being on actual film, it will give those scenes a much more HD look. Some people might not be too fussed about this, but this is something that I'm actually really looking forward to seeing. The fact that things like this can still turn up after all this time is really fascinating to me, and I can't wait to see what kind of difference there is of the picture quality for those scenes. So yeah, I know I've sounded pretty negative about this at times, but I do feel like we should keep an open mind and wait until we've actually watched the colorisation first. It's perfectly possible that those who are involved with the colorisations have learnt from last time and done their hardest to make this one better than the last, and I think we should be grateful for just how much hard work and effort goes into these, and these colorisations might indeed lead to some fans getting more into the classic series as a whole, where they might have struggled otherwise. There's nothing about where international fans will be able to see this colorisation. It seems to just be a UK only fin for now, which is a real shame. Us Brits can watch it on BBC4 when they show it on the 23rd of December, or we can watch it on BBC iPlayer shortly afterwards. Hopefully fans from other countries will be able to watch it someday, although it doesn't look too likely at the minute, as I couldn't find anything on an international release of the previous colorisation. But anyway, so there's my thoughts on the war games getting colorised. To sum up, I am a bit cautious about it, as I don't want the editing and pacing to be as bad as it was with the Daleks colorisation, but I will try to keep an open mind and reserve judgment until I've seen it. If nothing else, at least it's more Doctor Who to watch around Christmas time, and the colorisation itself certainly looks gorgeous from what we've seen so far, from the trailer and images released, and I'm interested in seeing the recovered location footage and how the regeneration scene factors into the story, to be fair. But what do you think? Are you excited about this new colorisation or not? Please let me know in the comments section below. And whilst I understand that people will no doubt feel a bit strongly about the colorisations, I can even be a bit like that myself at times, as parts of this video have no doubt shown, I would appreciate it if people could please not get riled up and start attacking those who are involved with them. Please be respectful and polite to everyone. Thank you. Anyway, so thanks for watching, I hope you liked it. Please don't forget to press that subscribe button below, as well as press the bell icon at the side of it, so that you'll stay notified of when all my new videos come out, and I shall see you all in another video. So, until next time, bye bye!